Hello everybody and welcome to the Triple Bypass Racing League. It's Late Models Series Round 9 here live from Nashville Fairgrounds. It's the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95 and we're getting underway for the two heats that start off our evening. It's 13 laps each way and then the 95 coming up a little bit later on for this latest round of the Late Models Series. We're bit rushed here this evening, but welcome along to all of you tuned in here this evening. Looking forward to getting ourselves underway for what's set to be a great night of racing. Myself, Ewan O'Leary, alongside Team Biggles here for all of the racing action. A couple of laps under pace car to get us underway here. Biggles, we're rushing into this one straight away with the first heat of the day, and it will be Hyatt and Harkham on the front row. Nashville Fairgrounds, not a circuit that I don't think either of us have seen before. We're looking forward to experiencing it for the first time with the late models tonight.
Nothing like going around a track and high-speed precision, of course, on a... I'm not sure if it's super speedway. We're on a formation lap at the moment, Ewan, so... You know, you've got basically 4 turns to the left. It seems easy when you're up in the casting box, my friend, but when you're traveling at those speeds and they get sucked into the wall, they have back draft, side draft, every draft you can possibly imagine. But what we're going to have is green light racing.
Will the 002 of Turan, by the way, just went around entirely there off of turn 2. Not sure what that was all about under pacing, but we're on the 78 of Harkham down to the inside in towards turn number 1 with Ryan Hyatt going round the outside through 1 and 2. The 78 will hold on to the lead for the moment, though. Through here, it's Ben Harkham, who's currently third in the driver's standings, by the way. Oh, there's a bit of a smash off of turn 4, though. Just up in the background, the front three seem to have got away nicely, but further behind there have been a few problems back here.
Back to the action, of course, because these front three at the moment are running away with it. About 3-second gap down to P4 at the moment. You can see there's the limped car, the damaged car from that accident earlier. That's how quick this speedway is, my friend. They've already caught the back, and it's actually thrown the 76 car off there. 78, my apologies, yes. And that's going to cause a massive collision in the background. What has happened?
Well, lots of collisions going on back there, I'm afraid, and it's now side by side for the lead between Ryan Hyatt and Ben Harkham. Hyatt will run round the outside. This, of course, setting the grid for the main race coming up a little bit later on here in Heat 1. This will set the inside row for the start of the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. It's Ryan Hyatt who makes his way off for 4 in the lead, but you do wonder what kind of damage that Ben Harkham has got now. You can see the front right of his late model just ever so slightly damaged. You can see a little bit more of that wheel and tyre maybe than you would be able to normally, and that is not a particularly good sign.
Let's see how they're panel 9 to go. They're going to go very, very quickly at the moment, and these 3 Top Guns actually got a big gap down to P4, so anybody can take this. You saw how easy it is with lap traffic as well off the road, my friend. Look at that, bouncing off the inside apron. Right up there, Ben Harkham, of course, 78 machine, sizing up if he wants to take this first little sprint race, heat race done. Look at that. Fighting the machine, isn't he? Fighting the track. Also, see him fighting his way around Reinhardt.
See if he can in the final 6 laps as it will be at the line. There are a few drivers already 1 lap down or even more. Al Curry, one of them in the 45. Just saw Rob Belshaw pull back into the pit lane there in the 44. As I just saw, Bob Belshaw, excuse me, and Pericini as well. Matthew Pericini, 6th place in the driver's standings, down in the pit lane at the moment. Will likely be starting right the way from the back. I guess in some ways, because these first couple of heats are a little bit of fun in some ways, because the main race is where the big points are paid out. I know there are bonus points available in these heats, but the big points come after the main race, after the 95 itself, and this just sets the grid really. So it's not the end of the world that Pericini will have to start from the back, although there's a lot of work to do back from row 9.
It's a little bit of a dress rehearsal, isn't it, for the main show? Yep, you're right on that one. But still, drivers are drivers. They want to win races and maximize the points that they possibly can. That'll be the case with Ryan Hyatt. Can Ryan hold off? That's key, isn't it? 4 to go now. Looking like he's in a solid position. Look at the rear of the car. He's in the exit, entering and exiting that corner. Look at that. Just how it slides a little bit more than 78 machine of Ben Harkham behind him.
Slightly odd numbering on the 2 of those. You see the 75 with the numbers looking straight on to those at the inside of the circuit, and on the roof the 78 looking to those on the outside for whatever reason. So that's a little bit odd from the air as we go from two to go. Ryan Hyatt, by the way, today's race sponsor here for the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95, by the way. He's currently putting all his skills to good use at the front of the field. On board with Ben Harkham here, chasing down the 75 of Ryan Hyatt. Entering on a slightly higher line there, getting down towards the yellow line and brushing out towards the wall, although it's very easy to get just a little bit too close and actually into that outside wall. Ryan Hyatt, though, makes his way around 1 and 2 for the final lap here in the first heat of the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95 in the Triple Bypass Racing League's late model series here on Tuesday nights. It's going to be Ryan Hyatt who takes the win, just ahead of Ben Harkham, who will be starting directly behind him on the inside row. A good little run between those two on those opening 13 laps, but in the end it's Ryan Hyatt who comes out on top there, and he'll be starting from the front row when we get this race underway, probably for the main race in the not too distant future.
Yeah, gonna be happy with that one. Although it doesn't have the checkered flag next to his name, that is done and dusted, my friend. It's quick, it's fast, and it's action here at the Triple Bypass Racing League. Just like that, mate. You blink, you miss it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Heat 1 results.
Well, certainly for these heats that have, only 2 heats of 13 laps. Ryan Hyatt taking the win there by just a few tenths of a second ahead of Ben Harkham. Then James Honeycutt was running at the top 3. Brian Cooper and Oliver Turan were relatively close to each other in 4th and 5th there. But Matt Harmon, 6th ahead of Al Curry, and Bob Belshaw and Matt Pericini in 8th and 9th. That is the end of your first heat of the night. Getting ready for the second coming up. There will be a couple of pace laps here because it is such a short racetrack. I was doing a little bit of reading up on this racetrack earlier on, by the way, about a couple of different layouts it has. It actually has a quarter mile oval that you may well have just seen available to it as well. But this layout is 0.596 of a mile, which is doesn't make any sense in terms of round numbers. You often see short tracks, put it a mile or whatever it is. This is not a round number by any stretch of the imagination. It's an unusual oval, I think it's fair to say.
Well, I was going to say, if you measure it in kilometres, it might perfectly match out like the Earth's circumference and all that sort of jazz does too as well, 2 kilometres, my friend. So get with the program. Here we go.
Kilometres, yeah, it's 0.959 of a kilometre. So I don't know if that helps.
Could have been 1K. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, Ewan does his homework out there, boys and girls. He does his homework, just as I've never been to this track as well too, my friend. What do you think about this? Getting the tyres at temperature. You see the rear end start to slide out a little bit. You can see the gas pedal gets loud, and you see the drivers get crazy. Let's go racing. Crazy in a great way, Ewan. Yeah,
let's get the second heat underway. It's Sean and Herzog on the front row, absolutely locked together, side by side, off of turn 2. Going to be a good battle between these two, but I do fear that the inside line is so important at this track, and that's certainly what we saw in that first heat. It was difficult to pass once you got single file. Through 1 and 2 they'll go again. Sean and Herzog side by side for the opening lap. They're going to go side by side for most of the second lap, it looks like, as well. These two having a great fight here. Herzog in the 57 up high and making good use of that line. We didn't see much use of the higher line through the first heat, but Herzog putting that to great use right now, taking the lead by ripping around the outside at the moment, and Mark Herzog looks to be taking the lead. Oh, there's contact! Big crash on the back straight as the 79 of Adam Schoen, second in the drivers' point standings, gets into the wall in a big way, and it's Herzog who now leads.
Look at that, just like that, isn't it? A little bit of an ego on the paddle. The car goes rear end, slidey, and bingo, you're in big trouble, my friend. Just like that, from last to first, you could do it right now, couldn't you? A couple of Aussies in here, a Canadian driver, and the rest are from the United States of America. Let's see if this man at the moment, as Herzog, can hold on at the moment. He's got a bit of pressure from Sid in the background. Is he sniffing a victory here, my friend? Perhaps, as well as Marty Rogers, 32 machine, P3.
They're all very close to one another. I do think the contact that Herzog suffered there with Schoen has just thrown him off a little bit there in the 57. You can see that Schoen is having a humongous engine failure. I'd be surprised if, well, and maybe it's not that actually, it's just a lot of smoke going on pit lane at the moment, but I'd be surprised if he finishes anywhere other than 8th here, and that will be outside of the 8th row. But the driver's second place in the point standings as Keston tries to get the run off of 4 for a run here in towards turn number 1. There wasn't much movement in the second half of the opening heat. It was very much the leaders staying single file, but Mark Herzog is going to have to fight for this heat win by the looks of things, because Sid Kesterson is looking very, very threatening right on the back of the 57 there in the lead.
Covers him off on the inside line there as well too. Goes early into the apron there. Making sure if you want to sneak up the inside, my friend, it ain't going to happen. I'm closing the door. I'm locking it. As James would say, not getting burgled on my watch. So whatever Sid has to do right now, Sid has to do it within 6 laps. What can Sid do? He's happy to take a P2, remember, as you said. There's the feature race coming up, so it's not always about just getting all the right points at the moment. Just better than hitting the fence at full speed, I'd say.
And by the way, no cautions in these heats, as you probably have noticed already, because there's been crashes and obviously no cautions. There will be in the main race, and the caution laps don't actually count towards our total, but that shouldn't add too much distance to the event, to be honest, given that we're only just over a half-mile oval here tonight. Herzog then still leads, free to go at the line. He's looking pretty comfortable right now. Sid Kesterson was able to threaten him for quite some time there, but the 57 driver now looks pretty comfortable. He's got nearly a half second on the rest, and he looks pretty good to try and take this heat win, as there's been incidents behind. I think Campbell and Barton have had an incident at 3 and 4, and the 13 of Barton certainly has been involved. Oh dear, and Campbell has as well. He's got a blown engine here with 3 to go.
Oh, luckily he's got a feature race coming up, so they get that fixed in time, thankfully. Great engineers down there, the pit road. In the iRacing, especially in the Triple Bypass Racing League, 2 to go at the moment. You have to say it's pretty happy, but look at that. The cars up the road should be definitely getting out of the way. You wouldn't want to be causing any problems right now with these gladiators, and definitely it looks like Dustin does get out of the way. There's that machine up the inside apron as well to the John Campbell that was involved in that incident. You only have to see out the final lap right now, and it is the final lap, and I think, oh, contact in the background. Will that allow Marty Rogers to sniff anything up the inside? I don't think so. Not really, with 1 corner to go. No, he's lost it.
He's going to get it wrong. He's going to get it wrong as well. It's going to be Mark Herzog who wins the second heat here in the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95, with Sid Kesterson finishing second. Rogers will hold on to third, ahead of John Crutchley, who finishes fourth in that one. But a spin at the end for Rogers, and he just gave everything to try and take second place.
We didn't quite get the... Sorry, I apologize. I have a little bit of sneezes. We didn't quite get the checker flag, so I think it might have been the checker flag anyway before he had that little moment, my friend. But we'll find out about that as that Heat 1 is over, and Heat 2 results will be up for you right now on your screen, live on the JP Broadcasting Network.
It's Mark Herzog who just beat Sid Kesterson to the line. Marty Rogers did hold on to that third place ahead of fourth place John Crutchley. Randy Jeffries rounding out those that finished on the lead lap. John Campbell was a lap down after getting to the line. Justin Martin actually didn't get there, but still finishes at 7th. And Adam Schoen, second in the drivers' points, will have a lot of work to do from there. Well, we're in warm-up. Speaking of the drivers' points, we'll have a quick look at them right now because we are getting towards the business end of the season. This is after 2/3 of the races so far. James Hunnicutt is the current leader, 7 points ahead of Adam Schoen. We just saw there, both with 1 win apiece. Ben Harkham looking to put those 2 wins to good use and maybe add to that tally as he gets towards them in third. He's not far ahead of Al Curry there, or Ryan Hyatt. Matthew Perricini there is 6th ahead of Bob Belshaw, and then there's Mark Herzog, who we just saw win Heat 2 with John Campbell and Mr. Kesterson there in the 9th place, tied up there at 150 points. So, the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95 is not far from getting underway here. With just under a minute to go in warm-up here in the Triple Bypass Racing League Late Model Series. Covering live here on JPB once again. A quick advertisement here for the Triple Bypass Racing League, which of course is not just racing on Tuesday nights, and it's not only racing on the nights that we're broadcasting it either. We are racing 4 nights a week. Sundays it's the Next Gen Series on Tuesday night, so it's Late Model Series road racing on Wednesdays, with the Gen 4 Series on Thursdays, which I'm pretty tempted to have a go at myself, I've got to be honest. So make sure you have a look out for those 4 nights of racing. You can join the Discord in our YouTube channel, by the way. There's a Discord link in our YouTube description here tonight. If you go and join there, it should be pretty easy to figure out how you can join one of our 4 nights of racing here. As it says there, 12 nights of racing for each of the series, championship points, and all of that good stuff to go with it as well. It's a great place to join in, and you're more than welcome to do so here at the Triple Bypass Racing League. And join in on something like the late model series here. 95 laps of racing here coming up tonight, Biggles. I'm not sure what that makes it in terms of real life distances. I know that we like a round number in terms of miles. We're not going to get one tonight, I don't think. It's the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95, referring to the 95 laps that we have in the main race tonight.
It is, my friend, and exactly with our main sponsor that we just had at the moment. So, as we're going to pull that up at 1 second there, real quickly again, of course, is you're invited. You're invited, Ewan. I'm invited. I think everybody's invited.
Absolutely.
So let's go racing.
I might well take up that invitation, to be honest with you, on Thursday night. So we'll wait and see on that one. But yeah, Gen 4 series coming up there. It's the late models that are coming up tonight. Just over 56 miles this race, by the way, but it's 95. Referring to the amount of laps, as I mentioned earlier on. This circuit did used to be a NASCAR Winston Cup Series round back all the way up until 1984, when I think it was finally taken away. Back in those days, there were 420 laps, which is what the name used to go by, and that equated to 250 miles around here, which is quite a long way. We're not going all that distance here in the late models tonight, but we are going at 95 laps. And as you can see, it's Ryan Hyatt who will be starting from the front. He's 5th in the drivers' points. He'll be alongside Mark Herzog, who's 8th in the points. We've seen a great spread of different winners so far this season. Nobody having taken more than 2 wins over the course of the season, and already 6 drivers having taken wins in the opening 8 races. So are we going to get a 7th different winner? Let's find out as we go racing at the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. It's the Nashville Fairgrounds here on the Speedway here tonight, and Ryan Hyatt takes an early lead here as we get racing underway in the late model series. 19 cars underway, and already we're under caution. There's clearly trouble in the background as we don't even get to complete one singular lap around this circuit before we see our first caution of the night.
And seeing the first caution of the night live on your pitches right now. We'll get that a little bit quicker, of course, for the replay. And I have to say, something's happened to the 96 machine. He's gone in the apron as he's bounced it out and then got tapped on behind.
Yeah, that's the 96 that just gets tapped around. Oh dear, and in avoidance. That's where all the trouble came. Off of turn 2, in avoidance. Everybody having to scatter here, and it's very difficult to avoid. It's not the widest oval by any means, but in any oval really, it's struggled to avoid these type of things. You see the smoke in front of you, don't know where to go. The 45 just clips that car in front, and then further behind there were further incidents. There'll be a lot of drivers already using their one fast repair at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, this is further back as well too. So that's the incident of a lot of those cars. And then some of them may have elected to go the pit road, and they some of them have not. Too early, isn't it, really, to go messing around with getting some extra gas and all that sort of jazz here this evening. Hit the likes, bells, and subscribe. Where's everybody in the chat? Don't be scared. I know Ewan bites, but I don't.
You don't need any extra fuel, by the way, here, and you don't get any tyres either, but you do get a fast repair. And for those that were caught up in that incident there, they may well need to use it. As you can see, there they are in the background. I see 3 of them maybe on pit lane. One driver making their way back out there again. There, not sure what that was all about, but you don't get very long on pit lane, and they'll be very thankful for that fast repair.
Look at the quick there. This is the race start. Let's check out what's happened here at the front of the grid. Kind of get an idea of that. Let's further back it, but see how it'll work pole shaped. So 48's really slow on the inside apron there. What's happened further up? There's the accident that we just saw, and yeah, that's kind of what just happened, my friend. So a lot of action here at the Triple Bypass Racing League, and that's what you're going to get, my friend. Pace car lights are off right now as Barney's brother Chabelle appealed that pace car into the pit road, and we'll get ready for more racing. We're on lap 5 of 95 with the 75 machine leading the race of Ryan Hart, and so far there too as well, Ewan, the top 6 drivers in the same places they started the race on.
They are, and supposed to be double file restarts here as well, but the pace car lights off. It seems that we're going single file here. Not Not sure whether there's been a change to the rules, especially for this one, but we are certainly going single file here. Only a lap completed under the first green flag run. So how many are we going to get this time? Out of the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95, we're back under green flag racing again. And we are single file out there at the moment. It's Ryan Hyatt who takes the initiative, takes the lead early on here. And thankfully, we've at least gotten off turn 2 without incidents on this occasion. Off to a cleaner start than we saw at the very start of this race.
Lots of starts, lots of racing, lots of action. Timing board going a little mad and ballistic at the moment. That's only because they're trying to work out what's going on. At the moment, you can see what's going on in the background here. This is Oliver in P6. Slice has got 3 positions for the 002 machine. And he's got Sid up the road for company. As well as, there it is, so Marty Rogers just a little bit behind him. Still got Ryan leading this race. You still have Mark in P2 as well.
This is right there for Oliver Turan on Sid Keston there, who is really quite out wide there. And Rogers may even have a look. No, not quite. This is a fight for second place. I think Mark Herzog may have made a mistake in towards turn 1. As he loses out from Ben Harkin, who's straight through and straight on the attack here. Ryan Hyatt right in front here as we complete only the opening 5 laps of this race now. Harkin so close to the back of Hyatt through 1 and 2. He's applying a lot of pressure here after only being in 3rd place a month ago.
This was a replay real quick there of that pass that we just missed on the cameras. There it is from the inside, sneaks it in brilliantly. A little bit of a scrubbing speed there for the 57 machine there of Mark. This was one back to P3.
So I'm not sure whether Herzog just gave that one over or whether it was Harkin with the speed. But you've got to remember in these races, tyre conservation is very important. You don't get to have an extra set of tyres. You've got to go the whole 95 laps with these tyres. So you've got to be very careful with that as we continue on with the opening moments of this race. Lap 8 of 95 here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Was not used in the NASCAR Cup Series for nearly 40 years these days, but in the late model series it suits them absolutely perfectly. Very bumpy around here, lots of character to this circuit here in Tennessee, of course. Very unlike the Nashville circuit used in real life NASCAR these days for many reasons. As Oliver Turan makes his way down the inside into 3rd place now. We're certainly seeing those who are wanting to abuse those tyres early on, and we're seeing a whole other section of the field who really want to conserve those tyres, like Sid Keston as we see the second caution on lap 10.
Yep, we got through a couple of laps, my friend, but let's go back to find out what exactly had caused the second caution of the evening.
Further back in the field, 119 maybe involved.
Randy here at the moment, Randy Jeffries. Oh, he's lost on his own. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, obviously no fault of his own, and nowhere to go. That's just a 2 car. That's it. I think that's all that was involved in that one.
Yeah, and I think they both used their fast repair under that first caution. I think they were involved in that first caution, and so they've ended up both down on pit lane. And I think that might be our first 2 retirements of the day, unfortunately. It's a shame to see, really, because it was an unforced error from Randy Jeffries, kind of on his own entirely. Unfortunately making contact with someone else as well, and that's a shame that they've been caught up in that through no fault of their own. I think Jeffries is going to try and get that car repaired maybe, but yeah, a real shame that ended up being a 2-car incident when really it was just a solo spin at the very start.
Such a short track, so easy, isn't it, the runoff area to be in trouble. And I'd say you'd have to say to you, and like you're not even like 10% through the race. I would say get it back out there and see what you can do, even if you're in the pit road for some time doing repairs. You never know, mate. How many times have you seen league racing in these next-gen NASCAR and ovals when you've seen somebody last place? You might have seen it in the top 10 highlights in iRacing and that sort of jazz. Everybody just bins it and crashes out on the final lap, and then bang, somebody from the very last place goes zooming on by, somehow avoiding the gauntlet of cars and then taking P1.
You never know.
Even if you lap down, you never know. A couple of cautions, you get back into it. Now, if you did that, obviously on the last lap, you're okay. Yeah, right. But I'll tell you one person you'd be looking out for, and that's that 002 machine. Always, every time I say 00, I'm thinking of James Bond, mate. But it's the 002 machine. And he's gained 5 position, Oliver Turan.
Yeah, good
five.
Good start to this race. As I said earlier, it's very much split in the field as to those who want to conserve tyres and those that don't. And Turan's certainly one of those who doesn't. Now we're forming up double file, so seemingly that first restart was a bit of a mistake, and I'm not sure why it was single file, because we are going to have double file restarts the rest of the way.
Just playing with food a little bit there, testing, paying attention. Corsair Live sponsor circuit this evening will be you're invited to the Triple Bypass 4 nights of racing. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays. Everything that ends with a Y, I guess. You get some motor racing here. Well, let's go live. Trackside.
Let's go racing once again. Ryan Hyatt back at the front as he led most of, if not all of, the first heat. He's now leading all of the main race so far as well in the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. We're back under green flag racing again. Ben Harcombe and Oliver Turan are fighting really hard for second place here. Harcombe on the outside there in the 78, really hanging on hard to that second position, but Turan really wants that place, and he's made great progress early on here. You just hope that he can sustain that over the course of the race, because right now he is being very aggressive and looking for this lead now as well.
I don't think he wants P2, he wants P1. Look at the speed he's got. Now, yes, is it going to be very punishing on his tyres at the end of the day? We'll see, but at the moment, you can see the car is pretty well glued to the track, my friend. Look at that. There's no wiggle in the rear there. Not sliding. Happy, and that's the slipstream as well. So, Ryan Hart, that's leading this race, is comfortably trying to control the situation, but you can see right now Oliver is definitely sizing him up somehow. He's studying it like a prey, isn't he? He's ready to pounce. When he's going to pounce. If you had a cat as a pet before, you've seen your cat, isn't it? When some sort of insect or something comes into your room or into your house, it sits there back ready, and then the moment comes, bang, it's on top.
I don't really like cats, but I do understand the point. There we are. Turan's certainly hoping that that's going to be him right now. Inside line in towards 3 and 4, slides it out a little bit. Is the way you have to drive these cars. It's very close between the leaders right now, though. Turan probably the closest to anybody else. Ryan Hyatt leading now, but his lead has never looked slimmer than it has done at this stage. He's never looked under more pressure. But you've got to remember here, Turan, that there's a long way to go, and he can't be affording to chew up those tyres quite so much, and I wonder whether those around him like Hyatt and Harcombe are being a little bit more careful.
Are you seeing this? Look at the power slide from Ben's perspective at the moment. We're running on board with Ben Harcombe, the 78 machine. Started in P3, currently in P3. He's got Oliver up the road, and look at the slide at the start of the dude. Look at the scrubbing and the speed there, Ewan.
Mark Herzog is going to have a chance here, because Ben Harcombe got it all wrong through 3 and 4. He's held on though. Herzog just enters a little bit higher towards 1, just to back off slightly, and he'll slot back into line, but the leading 8 or so are absolutely together. And by the way, speaking of those who have moved up the field quite a lot, we spoke about Turan a lot, but Alex Jones made good progress. He's up in 9th place now in the 79 after crashing out in his heat, of course. He's well back in contention here, and with those couple of cautions, right back involved for this lead.
Yeah, as well as Matt, actually the Canadian driver for the road, the 24 machine. And Matt, he's gained, you can't listen to his little bit, my friend, looks like an M&M's and a little bit of whatever you want to call it. But he has gained 10, my apologies on that one. There it is, make that 11.
Keston goes wide. Sid's being very, very careful in his opening moments here, not to get caught up in any drama, not to waste his tyres at all. He's playing very, very carefully. I do remember this from the Bristol round that we covered a few weeks ago, that those that were careful at the start were flying at the end. And will that be the likes of Keston? Turan's certainly not going to be waiting around any longer. He was sliding off of turn 4 there, really using up those tyres early on.
Yeah, I wonder if Olin's punishing him too much right now. Is he really chewing through those tyres? You can definitely see this right now, because there's Ben sneaking up the inside there. Ben's got a little power slide out of the corner, but they're going to go side by side and complete that lap. 23 and 95. There, Ewan.
Ben Harcombe taking the opportunity while it was there, and he's up to second place. Good pass on Oliver Turan, and Ryan Hyatt still leading here, but his lead is looking pretty slim at this stage. There was also battling with Pericini and Sean making up places further behind, by the way, as they bump their way through 1 and 2. Harkham has suddenly turned this one up. We're about a quarter of the way through, and now he's going for it. He looks to the inside of Hyatt, who will hold him off so far through 3 and 4.
Hyatt's done such a great job, hasn't Ryan? He's like every single time somebody's fired all those bullets, he's managed somehow to avoid them. So he's like, bring it, let's go racing. All right, attack me as much as you can. Ryan, cool, calm, collective, Mr. 75 Machine so far. Holding off the attack. He's holding off the attack from Oliver. He's holding off the attack from Ben. Let's see how much he can continue to do this. 25 now of 95. No pit stops, of course, from these top 4 drivers. But Matt in P5, you got to mention, he's been pit road.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of drivers down pit lane to use their fast repair already, of course. Was necessary under the cautions. Still, no drivers laps down. Barton was the car caught up in Jeffrey's spin earlier on, by the way, and so he's now out of the race. I'm sure you've noticed as Harmon and Honeycutt battled in towards turn 3 and 4. Honeycutt, of course, in the 76, the blue late model you can just see in there is the championship leader ahead of Adam Schoen, who's now in 6th position. At the moment, he's losing some points in that championship lead.
Some of these tracks really drivers don't like, some of them they do. This is not a speedway, it's not a super speedway, it's a regular speedway. So turn. Not much straight time, not much time to think even, Ewan. Before you even know it, you've got to get ready to lift off the gasoline and then just curse and nurse it and see how the rear end slides on that one. Oh, he's gone into him into the fence.
Contact. Honeycutt and Harmon. Honeycutt and Rogers it was. Harmon got through earlier. It was Rogers who made contact with him, and now he's got a little bit of damage. You wonder what damage has been done to Honeycutt there as well, because both of those late models now looking a little bit worse for wear at the front.
Now that's a commentator's curse on you. That was on you, Ewan. Absolutely 100% on you, my friend. Let's switch that camera over, and that's happened next year was probably on me.
They can certainly blame us. Oh, and Rogers, they're really struggling to turn the car.
Yeah.
The 32 there.
If he's going to go on the pit lane. You got to wonder at the moment, isn't it? Because at this point, it hasn't been a caution pulled because no car was spinning. So therefore, they'll go back to the action at the top of the timesheets, and here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit further back, 5 and 6. Battling down, continuing another lap. 32, going on 33 right now.
I thought Rogers would continue on because you lose so much pitting here. You probably lose at least a lap, but he's had to bite the bullet there, and he does come in as Oliver Turan looks to the inside of Ben Harkham in towards 1 and 2. This is a good green flag run now. We're approaching the 1/3 distance in the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. It's another look to the inside at 3 and 4 from Ben Harkham, who's gone from defence to attack all in one lap here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And doing the same thing you were. Now in towards turn 1 and 2. Again now, Harkham looking for that run off of 2 for the dive into 3. Is it going to happen for the driver of the 78? Ryan Hyatt has held on well and so far continues to lead around here at Nashville.
Ryan is becoming your, 90-year-old lady that's sitting on a highway or a freeway or a motorway that you have everywhere in the world, and she won't move out of the way. Well, in this case, Ryan's not moving out of the way. He's like, whatever you want to do, my friend, I'll hold you up. There's going to be a bit of contact at the moment. Ben's sitting on the inside. Ryan's shut the door again, saying, yes, here we go. Come on, back in our day, we used to race harder than this, son. Get on with it.
So here comes Ben Harkham again, down the inside of 3 and 4. Ryan Hyatt squeezing him absolutely perfectly. This is the perfect defence around here so far. And he has wonderfully held on to this lead. He's led all of the 36 laps so far in the front of the Fairgrounds 95 here in the Triple Bypass Racing League. It's round 9 of the Late Model Series, getting down to the business end of this championship season. And Ryan Hyatt at the moment is leading the way once again. Another lap ticks by. He's in the lead again. Ben Harkham still can't find his way through.
I've never seen in oval racing in a short track like this such defensive driving, really. You got to give it to him. Ryan's doing something. And for a fact, man, it's relatively easier to overtake, let's say, and depending on your exits and exits, entry and exits, in an oval race. But Nobody's finding where they're running. He started in P1, running a P1. Ben's gained a position behind him. Oliver, we know that the blue machine in the background's gained, but look at that. Adam now. Adam Schoolin in P4. He's getting 12. He's starting to catch this pack, so you never know what's going to happen at the moment. They, at the moment, probably also worrying about fuel situations of another caution, because touch wood, my friend, we haven't had a caution in some time now.
Now, it's 30 laps since the last caution, and we're getting a really nice green flag run together as the sun goes down here in Tennessee. It's getting a little bit darker out there. As you can see, there's no lights around. It's coming up to 8 o'clock here in the middle of summer, so there's still a couple of hours of lights around as we get another caution. It's Randy Jeffries again, who's got to be very careful rejoining like that, but he will lose a lap as a result of spinning off of turn 4.
Now, I'm wondering if everybody's going to jump in the pit road at the moment. Let's have a little replay of what happened there to Randy. Does he go out to the apron on the outside? No. He loses it before. He gets tapped from behind. And then that's it. Like, he's back on, but because the car stopped on track, Barney's deemed it as a yellow flag. So that is what it is, my friend, when it comes down to motor racing. Now, what will happen with the pack? Will they come in?
Wouldn't expect them to, once again, because you can't change tyres anyway, so not really any point unless you've got any damage.
Do you think fuel situation at all? This thing's can't go to the end on the same fuel.
I mean, it's only 56 miles.
Well,
it's
Bob's
not very far.
Yeah, we know Bob had damage, but... Only?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, to be honest. Not surprised at all. Although, well, I'm actually not convinced the pit road has actually been open yet. I think there might have been an illegal pit there from whoever that was.
You might be right. Matt's in at the moment. James is in. Matt, we knew had damage. James is in. We also
James got involved in a crash earlier on. Let's not forget. We can't see any damage to... Car just in front though, of Parasini there, so I don't know quite why he's in. It's a relatively short stop, but yeah, if you want to use your fast repair, then you might as well go for it. Honeycutt has given himself a bit of work to do though. He's got just over 50 laps to do it, of course, but he's the championship leader, and Adam Schoen at the moment is quite a few positions ahead of him.
Yeah, here it is, right here, isn't he? 76 machine. Great number. Great car. James, of course, has got a lot of work to do. That just goes to show you oval racing, isn't it, my friend? Like, it's just a matter of some of those tracks. You couldn't get your banker laps in, your correct qualifying laps in. Made a little bit of an error, but they go by so quickly. Bang, you're back in places that you're not usually used to. Happens in IndyCar, happens in NASCAR in real life, as you know. That's the great thing about these championships. Otherwise, you go to the other end of the championships, of course, and you go, Max Verstappen's expected to be on P1. You have Red Bulls expected to be there, Ferrari's expected to be there, even these days McLaren's expected to be there. So, but in this kind of racing, these conditions, and these dynamic changing, you don't always expect to see the same driver getting pole over and over again. That's what makes this league, virtual world, and the real world fun.
Yeah, it keeps it unpredictable as we get formed up 2 by 2. These are the guys down towards the back who have got a lot of work to do, but Ryan Hyatt, I guess, has equally just as much work to do here. Got Van Harkum alongside. To try and hold him off is going to be obviously very difficult over the course of the day. But so far,
he's our sponsor, mate, so he's looking pretty good at the moment. Just mentioned out there from the Yukon Princess. Come on, Ron Hyatt. You can't win it. He's sponsored. It's cheating. That's not cheating. Have you seen what this man's doing? Green flag, green flag. Green, green, green.
Ron Hyatt leads the way then, and Turan goes through into second place. Ben Harkum is displaced from that one for the moment. Wondering when this aggression is going to catch up with Turan though, because he has been making up the positions as Honeycutt there just looks to the inside once again of Bob Belshaw, that is, in towards 1 and 2. That's a big move there from him. Jeffries and Harmon getting pretty close to one another as well there in the 81, but Honeycutt through into 11th place. He's looking for that top 10 now as he chases down Adam Schoen in a big battle in terms of points there between those two. Side by side between Shun and Harkham as well. It's getting worse for Honeycutt as Adam Shun, his main rival, looks to make up a place and get up to third place.
Got a capitalised situation when your main contender, a big power slide too, isn't it? Out of Oliver. Currently running in P2, so yeah, they're getting a little bit tricky, risking it for the biscuit at the moment, but yes, hey, you always know that for a fact, my friend. When the person you are competing against the most in the championship is further down the field, you capitalise on those points, because at this point in the championship, and
Chertsog, he's gone for a big moment there, and he's held on to it as well. It's safe from him. He will now be in that second group. He lost a lot of time, but a good save from him prevents us from going under caution as well. Prevents himself from finding himself in the wall, I would imagine, as Honeycutt makes up another place tonight.
Just for the background, it's a three-way battle. Ooh, guys, careful. We've barely seen two cars side by side in the restarts, learn three into a corner. Or free, as you guys look to say in the UK. There's an H in there, friend. Three. Don't get me started there.
But yes, Bob Belcher it was actually at the front of that little group. Oh, contact there though. Who's that? I think it's Campbell who maybe was just set off. No, excuse me, it was the 81 of Harmon who was set off course by that one.
There is, yeah.
Going on
the
here.
guy three
Wide.
No.
Oliver Turan has been off the road here at 3 and 4. Well, not off the road, but he has been just sent up high. And Ben Harkham now gets involved with him again. Sid Kesterson waits on behind. He's patient as ever, of course, just conserving his tyres, conserving that car before the end of this race, before the push to the flag in the second half, which we are now in, of course, here at Nashville. It's inside line for Harkham again. Gets on the apron. He goes for a spin into the wall for Ben Harkham in the 78.
See if he can stay there for a second. Nobody's going to have him. He's on the racing exit line, but he's right up on the fence. Yeah, we were on board that camera for a second. Did you see the oversteer correction he had on that tyre? That gave me an indication that was all going to go pole shape. Let's have a look at that one for a replay real quick. We got another caution.
Really be getting down there. The banking is fairly severe through here. It's still 18 degrees around the corners at this speedway, so you're going to be getting on the apron, and that's exactly why you'll find yourself in the wall. And maybe Harkham now is going to have to use his fast repair with this one here.
I'll have a look at this. Try to speed it up a little bit for you, my friend, but just see the correction? See the snap there? That's when you realise the car's gone.
Oh, it was past the point of no return for Harkham.
Yeah, we had Liz going in as well. So Harkham's gone in. You have to do the sound effects there, Ewan. Come on.
Well,
do the wheeljack sound effects.
Very quick. So no tyre change, of course, because there are no tyres, but it will be a fast repair, and it will feel like a new car to him. And as we saw with James Honeycutt, you can really put that to good use with making your way through the field. Honeycutt now there in 7th place, I think that is. Just in the background, just trying to count based on these shots here. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of work for Harkham to get back up towards the front. Harkham is, of course, in 3rd in the driver's standings. So looking to get involved in that fight for the driver's title. Maybe not quite going to happen the way he was hoping based on that incident there. But let's see over the course of the remaining just over 40 laps, which we still have here at Nashville.
And now Ryan's got to hold off Adam Skulin in the 79 machine, 14 positions gained behind him. And then Matt Perushki, the Canadian driver, 24 machine, he's 14 positions gained. So just like that, my friend, there's pros and cons. The glass is half full, the glass is half empty. Well, the milk is also available down there in pit road. That's for the Indy 500, of course. But one thing that hasn't happened was the 75 machine that we can see right there has yet to lose a position. He's led every lap, I believe, not mistaken.
So, I think he's going to be credited with having led every lap so far, and over the course of more than half of this race. That's very impressive indeed. It's Ryan Hyatt who leads the way. Adam Shum will be alongside him in a moment's time as they form up 2 by 2 for this restart here at this circuit. There we go. So we'll go alongside us here, and everybody will fan out in the background there to try and get involved. Wonder what Sid Kesterton's going to do in the second half of this race now, because he's been very quiet through the first half, saving his tyres as much as possible, and now I wonder whether he's going to unleash a bit of that speed.
You've got to give or take a few laps to get it done. Of course, a few laps in this oval track. This one is 30 or so laps. They go by quickly, my friend, because they're doing a sub 20-second lap. GFX on that one. Let's see. Ryan can hold off that P1 position. He's been doing so well, but it's got the Canadian attack there of Matt and Adam on the outside. Here we go. Green flag.
Matt Perosini there getting straight ahead of Adam Schoen there. In towards 1 and 2. He is into second place. Sid Kesterton gets up into fourth as well, but Oliver Turan's not going to let that go lightly. He goes wide though, very much straight into the side of Herzog, and Honeycutt didn't really want to get involved in that, just backed off through 3 and 4. But the intensity just being ramped up here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, because we know that we're in the second half of the race now, and the prizes are to be won in just over 40 laps time.
This brilliant racing. We've seen Oliver. He's been so good racing, but you know, he's down in a couple of positions. He gained a lot earlier. He was battling for P1. Now he's battling currently at the moment for P5. Has he just taken a little bit more out of those tyres? We're not quite sure, but further back, of course, there's a massive battle brewing here, my friend, too, with some of those fast, speedy drivers, of course, in the championship now battling it up for basically scraps of points.
That was close. Honeycutt in contact again there with Ben Harkham, who's making good progress here, already up into ninth place, having to pit under that caution to repair the car. He's back underway again. It's Harkham. He's back in on the inside of Al Curry there, who's forced up wide in the 45. Ben Harkham already into 8th place.
And Matty in the background there, Matty. There's Matt on Marty Rogers. Of course, that's a heated zone right here, right now. I think we'd get the camera on that one, my friend. Look on the apron, that all's on the wall. That the background there. That's a dangerous place. The marbles flick all the way up there, but keep an eye on this battle, because as you mentioned, James is the man leading the championship at 6 positions down for 76 machine. And the John Campbell, the Thunder from Down Under, is bringing it here, and the Thunder from the Fairgrounds.
Up on the apron there for Harmon, who's on the inside of Honeycutt here. This points leader sends it into turn 1. And Harmon's going to be through, although he clips the apron again, and he's going to be sliding on his way out. Honeycutt has to lift off, not to hit the back of the 81 and cause another caution. No, he nearly sends it to the inside of 3 and 4 again here. Points leader in a worrying place, caught up in traffic and losing a lot of time.
Must be feeling like he's in a British motorway, isn't he? On a holiday weekend, trying to get to his location. It's not going to happen. It's traffic, as you mentioned. There's Sid, there's Mark as well too. The battle currently at the moment is still brewing between P5 and P6. The leaders, give or take, about a similar situation. We'll pull cameras up to them in a second, but we want to keep this action at the moment. There's Marky, the Hearst doggy, getting it done, and a jump on Sid, but not quite yet. It ain't over yet until Bunny waves that flag, my friend. 60 of 95.
About 2/3 of the way through here at the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. It's Ryan Hyatt still leading. Then Matt Perosini, Adam Schoen, Mark Herzog, and Sid Kesterton, the top 5. Sid was going to just unleash something in the final half of this race, but so far hasn't really happened on this restart. And Hyatt's been under pressure for a lot of the first part of this race, but this is the first real run that we've had where he's actually not under a lot of pressure, and that's Matt Perosini who's really the cork in the bottle here. He's got Schoen, Herzog and Kesterton right behind, and at the moment is not applying any pressure to the race leader.
The thing is, they've given Ryan so many restart opportunities, hasn't he? He's perfected it. Boy, the battle behind, as you can see right now. Matt Perosini and you can pronounce those names. Adam Schoen. Don't make me do it.
Adam Schoen there in third place, trying to get ahead of Matt Perosini, who squeezed him very well indeed through 3 and 4. It's exactly what you've got to do in these ovals. Make sure that the driver on the inside has a little room to breathe in terms of getting an exit, and make use of that better exit that you're inevitably going to get from that higher line. Perosini did that on that occasion and holds on to second place, but his tenure of this position looking up even more tenuous at this stage. Down the inside for Adamson. It's not deep enough on the brakes, and on that slightly higher line, Perosini seems to be running very, very well. Just one lane up from the very yellow line. He seems to be running very well.
Oh, look at that. It's almost your tank slapping the exit of the wall and that, trying to get the power down. That just shows the speed there. You carry too much speed through the corner there. You want to scrub it off as much as you can, and that wall becomes closer and closer and closer. And that's the key to success. Look at that way just up the road that Adam's machine is just a little bit twirly-whirly at the moment. He's basically trying to manage the 79 machine. See how much more difference it is to the other cars up the road? I'm quite sure you're a race driver how much that would feel. Is he either driving like that because he loves it, set the car up like that, or he's having trouble, he's having problems?
It's difficult to know, really. Still leading 5 together here. Still stuck in traffic, by the way, in the 76. This is terrible news, and I think if things stay as they are, then Adam Schoen may well take the championship lead away from him. Not sure whether he's going to take a race win here, but he is certainly going to make some strides in the championship. Now, by the way, as far as I can see, Ryan Hyatt hasn't won a round so far. No, he hasn't, indeed. Of course, it's main race wins that we're talking about here, by the way, not heat wins, which don't count towards your wins tally. We've seen 6 different race winners in 8 races. Are we going to get a 7th different race winner over the course of this season so far? That will be absolutely fantastic to see with 25 to go.
And I wonder how many actually go back on that one. This one for the chat too. Like, how many of the race winners have been the race sponsors? Because currently at the moment, Brian is our race sponsor, the 75 machine, and is currently doing a brilliant job defending off everybody's attack that has come to his country USA racing team there. So good job. Hey, if he's a race sponsor, give it to him. I think he deserves this win. All he has to do, my friends, hold on, 25 to go.
Well, I'll tell you all he has to do. It is quite a tall order. Matt Perosini has been closing in over those last couple of laps, and now that we tick over 25 to go, it's getting to crunch time now. This battle in the second group is equally interesting. This is for 8th place on backwards. John Crutchley is at the front of this one. Then there's Bob Belshaw, Al Curry, Marty Rogers, and also Campbell at the back here in the 117. 5 drivers fighting for 8th place.
And overtaking opportunity here between Marcus and Adam. That's your In-N-Out Burger, my friend. A little bit further background, you have the 79 machine versus, of course, the 7 machine. There was a switcheroo for a second. 22 to go. That's good to see those drivers battling it out at the moment. Good crucial points in this championship, my friend. I've always said this before, and I'll say it again. You don't have to win races to win championships. You have to win the best points playing positions that you can get consistently, and you could get close to that trophy.
Yeah, hard to disagree with that particularly. Up for the lead now is Matt Perosini, who's just behind Ryan Hyatt now for the lead. Mark Herzog was now in 3rd place, just ahead of Adam Schoen, who I think may have gone out a little bit too hard. Is suffering with that, maybe. James Hunnicutt the same, actually, in the 76. They're still really struggling and not far off getting lapped now by Ryan Hyatt. Seems to have paced this one pretty well, but Matt Perosini has made up a lot of places so far. He knows how to overtake, and with 20 to go, he just needs one more for this race lead.
You got to be giving it, don't you, to Ryan. He's been leading this race for all the race almost. He's got 19 to go at the moment. We've seen the other drivers, but Matt is pushing like crazy. The car in P2 on the 24 machine. You can see that rainbow livery. He wants it, but I'll tell you one person that wants it even more. That's Ryan, and Ryan is going to definitely deny it. There is traffic up the roads that may come into play there, Ewan. What's going to happen, my friend? Don't blink, you'll miss it.
See what's going to happen here in the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95. It'll be 17 to go at the line. There's going to be lap traffic involved. Hunnicutt, Jeffries and Harmon are not far in front of Ryan Hyatt here. I wonder how he's going to get through on that. As Mark Herzog's getting close as well now. It could be a leading 3 in the very distant future. There are the lap drivers. There's Herzog as well. He's beginning to apply the pressure to Matt Perosini.
Oh, this is going to get spicy. I'm not quite sure who the driver is up the road there. Maybe Brian or Dustin, but they probably want to get out of the road, my friend. You don't want to be down the pit road. with these angry gentlemen looking for a race win. In fact, there's not the only one. There's a handful of cars up the road there, Ewan. They definitely come into play, of course, because you want to be on the absolute perfect racing line right now. And if you have to make a change and pull off a little bit, you're under big time trouble.
Well, that's a good run for Parasini though, off of 2. And there's a bit of a defence from Ryan Hyatt as well. And it forces Mark Herzog to go right to the high line. He's a little bit up too high though, I think there, and he's not quite going to get the run that he wanted. Parasini's going to be stuck down low again. And Herzog's not going to give this one up. Up high again, trying to squeeze Parasini as much as possible. It's not easy to do though when you're not very far alongside, as Herzog finds himself right now. He's up high again. He's level with Parasini pretty much off of 4. It's very close. 13 to go here at Nashville, at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and they're locked together for second place.
And this is helping Ryan with this lead at the race. He's like, go for it, guys, battle it out, tooth and nail. It'll help him a little bit because that actually slows them down. But look at this traffic once again. I was like, I had to come in to visit you, Ewan, in the United Kingdom there on a M2 highway. It's jammed, my friend. It's like going to a Silverstone race, but you're stuck here in Nashville, of course, the birthplace of country music, the birthplace of motor racing here as well, too. Get your yeehaws on, my friend, because we're counting down to 11 to go.
Well, Herzog has gotten through on Matt Parasini now. As soon as he got his nose in front, he was able to squeeze the 24 a little bit more through a couple of these turns. Now the lap traffic comes into it. It's going to be Honeycutt, Jeffries and Harmon who are all going to have to get involved. It's inside for Hyatt here who clear a couple of them. Oh, there'll be contact. That was Parasini and Harmon, and Parasini's in the wall. Very close to being so anyway. Big contact for the 24 as he tried to take the lead away. He's now off the podium as it is side by side for the lead almost. Hyatt is still in there.
Oh, it's lap traffic that caught him out. Look at this. No. And Matt's behind that one, so I guarantee you there's a few of those words in Canadian or French, either English or Canadian, either way, but Ryan's still leading this race, 9 to go.
I've not heard that before, but Canadian, yeah, we'll go with that.
French Canadian, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes, excuse me. Ryan Hyatt still leads, by the way. Herzog just behind. Honeycutt very eager to stay on the lead, that hit, by the way, as you can see. And that is not helping Ryan Hyatt, who's now challenging for the lead. Oh, that was close. Wow, that was close into 3 and 4, but the 75 holds on again.
And if you can't tell me that oval racing is not exciting, you have not tuned into the Triple Bypass Racing League, because this is, look at the 76 machine at the moment. And who is that 76 machine? The championship leader is about to be lapped. Look at this, Ewan. Could you have scripted this at all if you were about to sign up for a movie studio?
Certainly not at the start of this race. You wouldn't have thought that Honeycutt would be getting lapped, but I'm afraid it's going to be a day of almost humiliation for him. He'll now pull to the inside. Wonder if he's almost defending from Hyatt now, who's in a really undesirable position of either going to the outside there or risk getting dived himself by Herzog, who's looking at the inside of 1 and 2. That's not going to happen this time. Hyatt's the one who dives to the inside. Finally alongside Honeycutt, but what do you do? Now he's not got the run, and Herzog's very close to a move into 3 and 4. He can't quite do it for now, as we're going to get 4 to go at the line.
Mark smelling blood in Nashville Fairgrounds. He wants it, and I tell you what, Ryan wants to defend it. Look at that as well too, as that championship leader. Of course, Honeycutt he's not yielding. He doesn't have to yield. There's blue flags, but he's like, game on, guys, game on. They have to take him on the inside here, but then again, still holding in. Still holding in more than anything at the moment. Ryan is doing his absolute best. 3 to go.
Almost contact. Hyatt there getting into Honeycutt ever so slightly. And now Herzog's going to be compromised. Is this the opportunity that Ryan Hyatt needed to get away? Well, not quite, because Honeycutt's very wide this time. And the leading 3 are going to be ahead of that lap driver. 2 to go here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95, and Ryan Hyatt is looking to lead all 95 laps of this race. He's done 93 now. He needs 2 more. In towards 3 and 4 they go. Hyatt leads. Oh no! He's been turned. Herzog's up onto the roof of Schoen as well, who's also involved. What a disaster for the 75, and Ryan Hyatt, who's led 93 of the 95 laps, but he's not going to lead the very last one.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say about that one. Oh, that was going to be a cracker finish, wasn't it? That was going to be an absolute cracker of a finish, and now I had to unfortunately, depressingly show the replay of the situation that has just occurred. The battle for the lead with 2 to go. This is how it ended.
Well, it was Herzog in the back of Hyatt, who then also got rear-ended entirely by Schoen, who's made his second bit of contact of the day. I'm afraid that is the end of the challenge, surely, for Hyatt to win this race. Not sure whether it was intentional from Herzog in a move to try and unsettle Hyatt, to try and get away and to try and get that lead, of course. But either way, it's a disaster for the both of them, and it's so unfortunate as well.
And look who sneaks through. Look who sneaks through. The championship leader survives, even though he's a lap down.
Well,
but guess what? We have a new leader.
Adam Schoen in the lead, ahead of Matt Perricini, and then Ben Harkham is in third place. Sid Kessler's in fourth, with 2 laps to go when we go green. I think it will be 2. Maybe it'll only be the white flag, and there'll only be 1 lap to go. But maybe it'll be the mother of all comebacks from Ben Harkham, who's in third place.
Yeah, got to give it time. Why not go for it? There's very much a possibility 3 to go. You have enough lap time, and as we just saw, if you had to put your money down before, if you're as a betting man, you'd say, well, you know, obviously Ryan had it, right? No, just like that. Tagged, contact, spinning, no race win. Well, you can't say no yet, but at this point, with basically 2 to go, mate, green flag. You'd have to go. It's going to go to Adam. It's going to go to Matt. It's going to go to Ben. One of them. Maybe Sid, maybe Oliver and Al. So Sid's going to go side by side as the lights are still on the pace car there.
That's slightly bizarre. Oh, yeah, we got the looking up, of course, to wave around first. Well, I believe that's what that is anyway. But yeah, Lucky Dogs are on in this series, by the way. If you're the first driver 1 lap down, then you do get a free pass to the lead lap again. And I think that's what that was all about. Just added another lap under caution for us. Not that it really matters. We will still be racing to 95 green flag laps anyway. We will get a green flag finish no matter what happens tonight, as we always do in the Triple Bypass Racing League. Lights will now go off. Adam Schoen will now be in control of the field. Matt Perricini will, well, supposed to be alongside, but I don't think is going to be here, so could be a single file restart. Is this going to allow Adam Schoen to win this race and possibly take his second win of the season? Possibly take the championship lead as well. You really have to feel for Ryan Hyatt, who led 93 of these laps. But he's not going to lead the most important ones right at the very end. The lights are off of the pace car. It will pull in now, and there'll be 2 to go when we get green flag racing again. Adam Schoen will be at the front with Ben Harkham in second, and Perricini all of a sudden dropping backwards on the restart. We're green again. It's 2 to go at Nashville, and Adam Schoen, looking for that championship lead, is in the lead with damage on board though. He rear-ended Herzog under that last caution, of course, and he's got front-end damage, allowing Ben Harkham to close in. He can't quite stay on that yellow line as much as he needs to, and the white flag's out here at Nashville. He's going to defend to the inside. Harkham's on the inside, on the way in towards 1 and 2. It's going to be side by side. There's contact, and around goes the new championship leader. Schoen is pushed to the side, and dipping through them all is Sid Kessler's, who's going to win the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95 in a chaotic finish. It's the 19 of Sid Kessler's who steals it at the end. He's led only for a few hundred metres there, but he's won the race.
Wow. Two potential race wins decided on the last couple of laps, just like that. Contact between 2 drivers. Both go around. Both don't get results that they'd earned, essentially, racing during that. And being in the right place at the right time, Sid certainly was. Congratulations. You won it, my friend. Nashville Fairgrounds is yours. Do some burnouts. Enjoy it. As he exactly on cue, my friend, is doing.
Under at the Fairgrounds 95 goes to Sid Kessler's. And what a drive it was from him. Ryan Hyatt, by the way, finishing in 8th place. He led 376 corners of that race. Leading 6 of those corners was Adam Schoen there, who finishes 12th. And leading only 2, the final 2, was Sid Kessler's who wins the race by a few tenths of a second. Oliver Turan finishing second as well, by the way. Ben Harkham just beating out Curry to third, with Bob Belshaw rounding up the top 5. John Campbell wasn't far away in 6th place, with Martin Rogers 7th. Ryan Hyatt heartbroken down in 8th, and only just ahead of James Hunnicutt, who actually gained points and hadn't shown in all of that. Mark Herzog still finishing inside the top 10. John Crutchley just misses out with Adam Schoen there, down to 12th on the last lap. Matt Parasitini drops down to 13th at the end as well. Matt Harmon and Randy Jeffries finished 1 lap back, with Brian Cooper and Dustin Barton the only 2 drivers not to get to the end. Well, what a race that was.
We got to the end.
Nashville Fairgrounds
we
Speedway.
eventually got there, didn't we, Ewan? Like, I didn't think we were going to get there at some point, isn't it? I mean, once again, he couldn't script it. We had drivers potentially. Like, you got to think, Ryan's P8. You roll this film back right now. You're on YouTube and you watch it later, and you hit your arrow key and go back 30 seconds or a minute or so. You're like, oh, he's got it, right? Bang. No, he doesn't. And that's why you have to tune into the whole race, don't you, Ewan? Because you never know what's going to happen.
And there were only 8 corners of that race that he didn't actually lead there. So, yeah, it's a very, very strong performance from him, and a great drive from Sid Keston in the end, who ends up winning here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I mean, what can you say about a drive like that? He hung back for so long, he waited for so long, and then he struck right at the very end, right when it was his moment to have a go with this. He finally struck, and he took the win. I mean, it's certainly a showcase of how you can do things if you just hang back, if you're careful in these races, if you preserve your car, if you are careful in all those aspects, then you can still win races and pick up the pieces of others.
And to think about Sid gained 3 positions, so he started in P4. This is the start of the race, so you can see exactly where he is currently at the moment. Essentially, he's in P5 at this point, but then again, he ends up finishing 3 positions gained. So the 19 machine that we're looking at from the side gets it done. Oliver, that finished in P2, well, he's gained 7, my friend. A lot further back, a lot more to gain. But then again, other people's misfortunes, other people's trash is other people's treasure, as I like to say. And Ben Harkham, well, Ben did what Ben needed to do, didn't he? Started in P3, finished in P3. It is definitely very gutting for this man. This is the man that you'd have to say, really, you got to feel for him. He led, as you said, practically every single lap of this race. And when it comes down to the final crunch of a couple of laps, incidents, contact, bingo, no longer you're leading that race. So not a driver you probably want to have an interview with at the end of the race. Because of the frustration. I'm not sure if we have any drivers ready to interview at the end of this race there, Ewan. So I think we might have to just end this stream at the moment, and looking forward to the next one. So, of course, well, looking forward to anything. Obviously, we have to go over our sponsors, don't we? And we do have to go driver sponsor Ryan, and that's, well, unfortunately, Ryan, would love to be talking to you about that 175 machine, getting it down across the line, but Ryan finishes in P8. And our track sponsor, of course, is this one, Triple Bypass. 4 nights of racing. Sundays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And all the information's there. How do you find it, Ewan?
Well, in the Discord. It's in the YouTube description. So make sure you go and have a look there. As it says there, all sessions opening at 8:30 in the or in the evening, I suppose, Eastern time. With qualifying and our broadcast as well getting underway at 9 p.m. Of course, not all of the Triple Bypass Racing League is broadcasted. It's not 4 nights of racing every single week for the broadcast, but we do broadcast very frequently this league. So make sure you subscribe and look out for the next ones, of course. There's plenty more broadcasted races coming up before the end of the season. I know that in 1 week's time, next Thursday, so not on Thursday, but the one after that in 9 days time, the Gen 4 race at Texas is being broadcasted, for example. So there's plenty more coming up here on JPB. Make sure you subscribe to us so that you can catch all of that, of course, but it's been a pleasure to have you along here for this evening. A big thanks to everyone who's been watching along. You've been watching the Thunder at the Fairgrounds 95 at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway here. The Triple Bypass Racing League late models providing the action here once again for round 9. It's Sid Kesterton who walks away with the victory. Congratulations to him, and we'll be back very soon with some more Triple Bypass Racing League action. From all of us, though, here at JPB for now, it's goodbye.